Excellent. So we now have a TADSummit online conference session with Gonzalo, the CEO of Visor. So maybe Gonzalo, you can introduce Visor, please.
Hi. Alan and guys, thank you very much for having me. My name is Gonçalo Consiglieri. I'm Portuguese. I live in Portugal actually, and I'm CEO at Visor AI. Visor AI, it's a customer service automation company, and it will be a pleasure to share with you what we have been doing during these almost 9 years of
Yeah.
experience in the market. Okay. So can I share the screen and
Yes,
just
absolutely.
start?
Go for it.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Okay, got it. So let me just.
Button in the
Uh,
middle there that says share.
Okay, share. I think you can see it now, right?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, we are a
Now
customer
it's in
service.
just oh, there you go. You got it in presentation mode. Perfect. You're good.
Okay, great. So we are a customer service automation company I was mentioning. So when we started in 2016, and we were in this first, let's say, first wave of chatbot companies at the time. It was in the moment where Facebook Messenger opened the Facebook Messenger for chatbots, and we were on this first row of let's say innovators at the time,
Yeah.
which is some kind of solution that right now it's not innovative that much, but at the time it was. And we are a pivot of a prior startup. Actually, the founders of Visor AI, we were doing something different, but we were in a moment where we realized that the product we had was not going anywhere. So we
Gotcha.
just give a step back and just started from scratch and use the good team we had and still have to find the different problems. And that was the moment where we understood that contact centers were a mess and still are a mess.
Yes.
And we just got into this market and we worked with chatbots for a long time. And more recently, like for let's say last 3 years, we started to diversify our offering for the other channels because we already got good clients. So these big enterprises, banks, insurance companies, and
Yeah.
others, and they started to bring us to other needs they had for the phone calls, for the emails, and for a lot of different things that I will tell you more about.
Great.
So that's what we did. I mean, we decided to have, let's say, more horizontal growth, not that much vertical. I mean, we had two options, or we became like a pure software as a service for chatbots, and we became at the time quite scalable and selling like 50 euros per month chatbots or something like that.
Gotcha.
Or the other way, we decided to go to more, let's say, enterprise oriented solutions,
Mhm.
which is what we did. So we
Okay.
are a pure enterprise approach. So it means that our solutions are cloud based, but we just adapt everything for the client. So imagine like a
Mhm.
bank that has all these very tight compliance and legal requirements that they have, and all these procurement processes and everything. So we just do it all. I mean, we just
Gotcha.
negotiate all the lines in the contract. We just negotiate the pricing. We can put our servers, I mean our solution running on a virtual private cloud specific for this client with all the criteria that the client defines. So
Mhm.
usually this selling cycle takes some time. It's about, let's say, in a good selling, it's 3 months. Bad selling can be 3 years. That already happened. But I would say the average is like 6 months. So it takes time. But the good part is that once we are there, we tend to be there for a long time, and we
Mhm.
tend to grow with the clients. And that's the
Gotcha.
main reason why we decided to just, okay, we are good dealing with these guys, which sometimes they are kind of a pain in the ass because they are not easy to deal with. But it's at the end of the day, you need to decide with which devil you want to sleep with. So we
Understood.
decided to sleep with the enterprise
Yeah.
companies.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Now, how do you business divide between the sort of the traditional chatbot versus voice agents and
Yeah.
then real agents?
Yeah, well, I mean, we started as the chatbot solution.
Yep.
So this is our offering. We usually what we do is all these clients they already have a contact center platform. Can
Yes.
be something more, let's say, incumbent like Contact, for example, which
Yep.
is a solution in the market for I don't know maybe 15 years, maybe more. Cisco and others, or it
Yep.
could be something a little bit more cloud native like Talkdesk
Yep.
via Cisco as well. Others, well, there are many others of them,
Yeah.
but usually, what we see in these enterprise clients, so banks, insurance companies, telcos, utilities, public sector even, they tend to already have a solution for for more than 10 years,
Yeah.
which usually it's not a very innovative one in terms of AI. So this is where we come to place as the AI layer to put on top
Gotcha.
of these partners, you know. So we
Okay.
came as the chatbot provider in the past, but we realized that it was not enough. So we integrate with the solution that they already have. So let's say,
Mhm.
for example, Go Contact, and
Yeah.
we can integrate the chatbots. So if you go to the website of the
Gotcha.
client or WhatsApp or Instagram or whatever, you can have like an automatic chat there with LLMs and everything on it.
Hmm.
But in the moment where it's needed to open a conversation with a real human, it
Yeah.
goes to the client
Gotcha. The
solution.
traditional platform. Understood.
Yeah, yeah. So what we did more recently, I mean, since I don't know, 2023, 20, well, started in 2022, but in 2023 was the year, let's say, was when we just took a very a strategic decision to really open our solution and start going to other places. So
Yeah.
one of the things it's of course the voice solution. So
Hmm.
we use the, let's say, the infrastructure we already had created to create virtual assistants that
Okay.
in the beginning was for chatbots, but now it's completely adapted for voice bots as well, and
Yeah.
also for agent assists.
Hmm.
So solutions for like kind of a copilot for agents in the contact center, and which is something
Gotcha.
that we have. I mean, we use both of those solutions. So we use the chat bot as the terminal for the agent to have it. So it's
Hmm.
visually it's kind of like a ChatGPT, let's say, but
Okay.
embedded in the client contact center platform
Hmm.
and connected to the client's phone call through SIP trunk or other methods
Yeah.
to get the call and get all the, let's say, the context. We do a speech to text, and then we have a knowledge base that we created for the client with the information available from the client, from PDFs, PowerPoints, whatever, and also
Understood.
available information on the website, and also internal knowledge bases like, I don't know, Microsoft Dynamics or others. So we
Hmm.
use it all to help the agents to have the, like say, the next best action for each question that they
Gotcha.
are posed. Okay,
Hmm.
and then we have an email solution as well. So meaning that we can do kind of a virtual assistant thing, which is
Hmm.
when a company receives an email, we can automatically answer to it. Let's say it's in a simple way, but I would say 90 something percent of the emails that come to a big enterprise, they are not back and forth email. I mean, they come with attachments and lots of, let's say, forwards and replies behind
Yeah.
it, a lot of, let's say, garbage within
Hmm.
that, and usually it's a kind of approach where we usually use LLMs that are not that fast, but usually are more, let's say, intelligent. I'm
Okay.
not a quite technical guy, but I can
No,
go
no, I
to this
understand.
level.
Yeah.
Okay, because having an answer to an email in 1 minute is not expected. I mean, in one
No.
second is not expected, but in a chat or a phone call, yes, it is. But in an email, so there's this margin that you can answer. Let's say you can answer next day, so everything is
Gotcha.
okay. So yeah, we use this for. I mean, we consider that. I mean, we have two main things, which is one, virtual assistants. Second one, it's what we call the automation flows. We have the email more in the automation flow side because usually it's more used for the beginning of some process. So let's say,
Yes.
I don't know, a bank account. I mean, imagine a bank that you just contact your contact in the bank, your account
Hmm.
manager, and you said, okay, I want to buy a house, I need to do a mortgage. What
Yeah.
information do I need? It's
Yeah.
normal for you to send an email. They can reply and say, okay, please send me all those documents. You can reply back and attach all those documents to that email. You can forget like two or three of them because there are many of them. And then we have this solution that we call the business process. This is where we can orchestrate some processes to be done in an automatic way. So let's say that
Okay.
case. So you, Alan, for example, you send the email to the account manager in the bank and send
Yeah.
lot of documents attached. The guy in the bank then can just forward it to some automation email, like let's say
Yeah.
automation at bank.us or .com, whatever.
Yeah.
And with that, we can have like a business process behind it
Yeah.
that will understand what's the context, what information it's there, what information is valid or not. It's everything under, let's say, the defined rules that's in this process. It can take all this information and already, let's say, automatically insert in the client's the CRM or banking systems and
Yeah.
reply back mentioning what's missing and what they should bring. So this
Okay.
makes this guy working in a, let's say, in a commercial department of a bank to don't spend that much time in let's say, operational stuff and bureaucratic
Exactly.
stuff. Okay.
Understood.
Yeah, and last but not least, just to finish this, we have an AI quality assurance solution, which is like automatic auditings on the contact center. So as you can
Yeah.
imagine, like a contact center has millions of minutes of calls per month or even per week, depends on the
Oh, yeah.
size of the client. So usually they have quality assurance teams that are there listening to calls and just filling a survey for every call, which is not very interesting work to do. And
Yeah.
it's very, let's say, there's some risk there because the judgment of this person depends a lot on their mood and if they're doing that
Yes.
first thing in the morning or after lunch.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the AI has this advantage, which is if it fails, it tends to fail like for all of them. And of course, there's some hallucinations that happen, and this is
Yes.
where we come and make sure that those hallucinations are not happening and mitigate all of them. Okay, so this
Understood.
is the
Yeah. Because we had
yeah.
Serbi, the founder CEO for Symbol
Mhm.
AI,
Okay,
presenting on her solution around
okay.
AI quality assurance,
Oh, cool.
especially when looking at real people as well as AI agents as well to
Oh,
see how they
okay,
perform.
okay,
So yeah,
okay,
covered
okay,
that last year.
okay. Cool. Yeah, I will check on them, and
Hmm.
yeah, cool. Very good. Yeah, so this is, I mean, Symbol AI, as I mentioned, it looks like a company that decided to be more, let's say, vertical. So we do AI
Exactly.
quality assurance. That's what we do. We
Yeah.
decided to be, let's say, the AI partner for contact centers, and they will
Yeah.
need different things. So we try to combine that because contractually, meaning once we are with a client, it's normal for us. It happens even to
Yeah.
have partners like Symbol AI, for example,
Yeah.
to do some particular tasks because for some reason the client was not, let's say, so happy with the results we deliver. It happens sometime,
Oh yeah.
and we can also integrate their own and let's say be the orchestrator for the main tools
Yeah.
in the contact center, which is kind of messy. In the contact center usually they have very legacy systems. Now they are
Yes.
putting, let's say, AI like sprinkling AI to everywhere, and it's not in a, let's say, strategic way. That's how we see
Correct.
it.
Exactly, exactly. Because I noticed, like Millennium, Generali are some of the
Yeah,
customers. So that's like banking and insurance.
yeah,
Is that
yeah.
the main focus, or
I mean, it was a
okay?
moment where we were very focused on banks and insurance companies. Um, Especially in the beginning, because I mean, the first, let's say, 20 clients we had, about, let's say, 18 were banks or insurance companies.
Yeah,
It's curious because usually they are not sectors that are easy to enter,
yeah,
but there's one thing there, which is once that you pass that layers of requisites that they have, which are very, very hard.
yes,
So we put a lot of effort on that and make sure that we are the partner that they should choose. Once that you are there, it's kind of a validation for the others. So, for
And
example,
banks talk to banks as well. So it's always the
yeah,
nice thing that once they see
yeah,
your stuff, and then they're like, "Well, what did you think of them?" It then enables you to spread across that particular vertical. Now, are most of your clients within Portugal, or are you in
yeah,
Spain
yeah.
or Latin America?
Yeah, the most part of them are in Portugal.
Okay.
We have clients in Spain. We have clients in some countries in Africa. We
All
have
right.
clients in Latin America as well, Brazil, Colombia.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's say 80% of our business still comes from Portugal, which is
Gotcha.
our native market, where we are market leaders,
Yeah.
and then where we have, let's say, already a name in the market to keep growing.
Yeah.
We have a kind of a bottleneck in our sales process, which is the implementation. I mean,
Yes.
but it's on purpose, let's say, because we are not looking to have like a very totally scalable solution in terms of implementation,
Yeah.
because we still haven't found a way to have something scalable and actually totally addressing the needs from the enterprise. They always
Exactly.
need customization, and that's
Yes.
kind of a dilemma that we already, let's say, accepted. Okay, we'll not grow that fast, but we
Yeah.
will do it well and be the partner for those guys. So yeah,
Understood.
that's why
As
we are
that's
all, it's kind of a long run game we are playing.
yeah,
We are
but
not
it's high
expecting to be
margin.
a unicorn next year, but hopefully to be a very good company in 5, 10 years from now. Okay.
Understood.
And
Now, what do
earlier
you?
you talked about the issue with AI and hallucination. So I know banking has been very careful with that.
Yeah.
So how do
Mm.
you get them to be comfortable with the way you use AI?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because we get it every time we go to a bank present, or not only banks, but usually the more conservative clients, usually banks, insurance companies, health, and public sector. Those are usually the ones that are more conservative. So usually their expectation is to have something like ChatGPT in terms of usability, but as secure as a pure if. If these that, but it doesn't exist. So that's the first thing you need to just to teach them, is that you need to decide, or you want to have it totally conversational and you have it something like ChatGPT, but it will fail maybe 1 in 1 million times, but will fail certainly. Or we can go in a more, let's say, conservative approach and combine some of the, let's say, guardrails that we already implemented. So I'll give you some examples. One of the guardrails is, so for example, you can go to our back office and our solution, and you can just upload like a PDF with, I don't know, contact center rules or something like that, or I don't know, onboarding process or something like that. And in theory, the AI will be able to just understand what it's there, and every time someone goes to a chatbot or a voice bot or agent assist even, and ask some question, and if it's there, the AI will be able to generate that. But the thing is that we all know that there's no LLMs in the world that never fail on that kind of approach. So it will fail sometime. We can choose. Usually we do a lot of tests with different LLMs before we deliver the solution to the client. So this is one of the tests we run, which is we take about 3 the best LLMs in the market, and we just use the same data set to have the same tests for the 3 of them, and we share that with the client. And one of the measures that we show to the client, it's the hallucination metric, something like that, for them to know it. But usually they are not. I mean, there are some contents where they accept to go like that, but I would say it's like maybe 40% of the content, because there's about 60% that they really want to make sure that it will be like copy paste. So what we do on that cases, we do the same importing approach, which is, okay, just put your data here, PDFs, and we can integrate with other systems, but we will not generate answers on the spot. What we'll do is we will create FAQs on the first moment, let's say. So there's a PDF, the AI generates FAQs, so invents questions and answers that are there on the document. We just put that on the back office for the client to validate that and to edit it, and they can choose if they only want like a simple question, a simple answer, or more complex with buttons and with whatever they want, requesting for variables, whatever. And we can just define it, and we can just prioritize that second approach. I mean, we call it the restraint approach. So we can prioritize the restraint approach, and every time it comes some kind of question, which is something, let's say, restrained, it delivers like a very copy paste, for the end client. So in that case, we already mitigate the risk a lot. And another thing we have and we do is we also use this quality assurance solution to perform quality assurance not only on the agents, but also quality assurance on the AI side. So we have AI auditing AI, so we can have an LLM performing answers, and at the same time, you can have another LLM from other provider just to understanding if this answer was proper to that question, and if it potentially makes any kind of damage for the bank or insurance company, so that's another approach. Okay. Gotcha. Usually those are the 2 main approaches we use.
Now, do you have a preferred foundation model?
Yeah, I mean, created, when ChatGPT came out, first thing we did was, okay, we will do something similar, and we put a lot of resources on that, and we just created our own LLM, and at the time we were quite proud by having our own LLM and everything. But I mean, in Europe, it's something that differentiates Europe a lot from US. I believe that the ones that know Europe well, it's the regulation. And another thing it's coming now, it's AI Act, European EU AI Act. One of the things that the AI Act brings is all the, let's say, the AI providers that are delivering their own AI models, we'll have like a huge extra layer of bureaucracy that we need to keep up, and of regulation, and we need a lot of things that we need to do. And actually, it's getting harder and harder to make our LLM competitive in the market, because every day it's coming out new stuff from companies with way more funding than us. So what we already decided like 1 month ago was, okay, we will just abandon our own models, and we'll just use solutions in the market. Our compromising, let's say our agreement with the clients is that every time a new LLM, one of those famous ones from OpenAI, Anthropic, Mistral, and others, every time they come out, we will run some tests, and if it's below some kind of threshold, we will deliver that on the back office and give to the clients the option to change. Okay. And we will advise the client in terms of in what kind of use cases those LLMs are better or not. Because one thing is, for example, to have an LLM for an agent assist in Spanish, another completely different thing. It's an LLM for an email automation in French, let's say. Okay,
Yes.
so the same goes to speech to text solutions. So usually the LLMs are tending to become better and better and better, and let's say kind of hard to differentiate itself. But the speech to text solutions, especially for the languages that we work the most, which is Portuguese and Spanish, they still have some players in the market that are really better than the others, So, but it's something that over time it will change. So it will happen the same that happened with the LLM. So the more time goes, the more better they will be. And yeah.
Talk to Karel on that one with French.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about that another day. But yeah, I was actually going to ask a question about that in terms of latency. So, going from AI using chat to AI used in voice calls is a big step because of all the latency that's be added. So, how good do you feel the market, the solution are now, and how impacting is on the user experience?
Cool.
Do you feel that users are still a little uneasy because it's not natural enough? Or you think we reached the point where people don't mind anymore?
Yeah, I will give you numbers from one of our clients, which is a pharmacy group. So their target audience, it's older people, and they created with us last September voice bots for booking vaccines. So people call to the in Europe. In Europe, there's one thing calling like let's say the flu vaccine season. So when it starts September, people start to take that vaccine, and usually they use the opportunity to book another ones like COVID and others. So we created this voice bot for them when they have about 5 pharmacies, not a huge group, but it was good to test. So people call, they define the name for this voice bot. They mention what they want, which is, let's say, the most of the times it's to book a vaccine. They do everything like from booking a vaccine. They choose the pharmacy and everything. And the client told us about 2-3 weeks ago, where we had an event where we just invited that client to bring us his testimonial. He mentioned that 99% of the people make the appointment, which is crazy. So I was blown away because it's too much. It doesn't make sense. I was talking with them and mentioned, okay, are you sure with this? And he said yes, because I don't believe that these people understand that it's not a real person. But we say that. The AI starts by saying, okay, my name is Rachel. I'm the virtual assistant. I can help you with stuff like that. How can I help you? And they say, I want to book the vaccine, and everything goes right. And it happens often that people go to the pharmacy mentioning that they want to talk to Rachel, which is not a real person. So what we did for that, first, we cloned the voice. For example, for Portuguese, there's no good voices naturally from 11 Labs, for example, or from Microsoft. For Portuguese, they are still flawless. They have some flaws, let's say. So we cloned. We have a colleague in our team, which is she's a YouTuber girl, so she used her for that. So we cloned her voice. So we have our own native voice, and it's very, very good. And actually, we perform a lot of tests for the speech to text providers, and we identified one which was good for Portuguese. In this case, it's DeepGram. It's very fast. It takes 200 milliseconds to process. It's crazy. It's very fast. It's not, let's say, it's not the best for every use case, but when giving fast responses, it's important. That works very well. In terms of LLMs, now we are using, now we are recently using the Google Gemini 2.0 Flash, which is very fast as well, and very good for Portuguese. The use case, it's quite closed. So it's, I mean, this example is not the example that answers like generic thing. If they ask something more very generic, it just sends the call to someone in the pharmacy, and they will have a call with a person. But it was very good numbers. We have other use cases where the numbers are not like that. But we have, for example, I can recall now, we are doing a use case for inspections, car inspection center. In Portugal, every year we need to do a car inspection. So people call to that place. It's a biggest group in Portugal. They have about 80 centers, I think, and they have it the solution, and people just call to book inspection. In that case, it's about 70 something percent, so it's not
Gotcha.
that big. When we see different numbers there, but I would say like a good number, it's below 70%, it's good, and of course below 90 it's crazy good. So yeah.
No,
And
no,
it's
that's
not
good.
normal, doesn't make sense. Okay. And another thing we are doing now, and I'm not that tech now, and that's why I mean, João Camarat is one of our advisors now,
Yeah.
and one of the things that João is helping us, it's on having our own, let's say, telephony system. I mean, we are not a
Yes.
telephony company. We come from, let's say, the software development and AI world, and João comes from the telephony world.
Oh,
So
yeah.
one of the things he's helping us is to prepare a roadmap to start having our own telephony, because right now we are using external providers like Twilio and others,
Mhm.
which brings, I mean, it's not that scalable and just brings some latency in the call.
Yeah.
By having our own infrastructure, it will help us a lot in just decreasing even more that
Oh, yeah.
aspect.
And
Okay.
cost as well. 'Cause,
Cost, of
those
course.
are
Yeah.
Now, are you looking at WebRTC to improve the quality?
Yes, it's out of my capacity
No, I
to
understand.
discuss, but it's something that I already heard João talk with our CTO. So the answer
Okay.
is yes, but I cannot give you any details. Actually, Bruno is our CTO, was the one to bring here to come to talk to you. It would be better to go, let's say, deeper on tech things, but not that good in terms of give you a generic
No, it's
overview on the
okay. Don't
company.
worry.
So
Yeah.
okay,
Okay. No, that's good.
yeah,
Then, because banking and insurance have lots of special requirements and
yeah,
have long established relationships with particular
yes.
vendors, do you use a channel to market or do you serve, the sector directly?
Yeah, that's something that we also changed in the last 2 years. I
Okay.
mean, the first sales we did, I mean, the first, let's say, 6 years of our history, it was almost direct
Gotcha.
sales. We did
Understood.
some partnerships, but actually, we didn't were that big to be. I mean, we only had chatbots, so we
Yeah.
were not, let's say, a provider that bring a huge value to the platform. But the
Yeah.
moment where we decided to just go broader in terms of
Yeah.
solutions, we became way more way more needed even for
Yes.
companies like GoContact. Because, for
Yeah.
example, GoContact, they didn't decide to do their own AI things. They
Yeah.
don't have it. I mean, they have some AI stuff, but they
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
before LLMs, so it's kind of outdated.
Yeah.
So they saw in us like a partner for that. And of course, we are
Gotcha.
not, let's say, any exclusivity for anything, but they have like, let's say, a preferential relationship because they bring us a lot of business. And more recently, I mean, especially from the last year to now, the biggest sales we did was through partners like GoContact and others. So
Gotcha.
now we are even talking to our sales teams to change their focus. In spite of going to, let's say, events and spend a lot of money and trying to attract the right clients, it's better to use that money to invite a partner to have some food and have a good relationship with a partner and make
Exactly.
sure that the partner will pushing business for us, and then it makes that the pipeline is not a problem, which is where we are feeling now, is that the pipeline is not a problem. We are having clients coming like almost every week. For our
Cool.
reality, it's quite good, but implementing, it's the issue now. It's an
Yes.
issue that we will overcome, of course, as all the issues we had, but
Yeah.
it's so, and to do it well, because AI, it's not only a matter and that it's only a matter of pushing a button and AI app solves all the problems. It doesn't work
No.
that way.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, I mean, the way that I see it and we tell to our partners and clients is that AI should be seen as onboarding a new colleague.
Yes.
So meaning that you can hire Mark Zuckerberg to work on your contact center and can be like maybe the brightest person in the world. I don't know if he is or not, but if you don't give enough contacts and training and everything,
Yes.
you will not be able to answer even one phone call for your company. So what we have here, it's like Einstein. It's like a very intelligent person, let's say. Now we need to train it.
Yes.
So this mindset, it's helping us to do these implementations and for the clients to know that it takes time,
Yes.
because usually how we see it now is that there's so much buzz around this AI world that
Yeah.
sometimes clients, where they are not that techy, they tend to overestimate AI for everything.
Yes.
Sometimes they think that, okay, we just hire Visor and they will come here and everything will be automated and in 1 week,
Everything works.
And
We'll give them the
yeah,
rag. Everything will work.
I see you just did a deal with AutoAlign, which is a partner of NVIDIA. So that is that a new channel that come through? Because that can
which
be
one?
quite
Sorry,
explosive. AutoAlign.
AutoAlign. What is it? Sorry,
I read a press release with AutoAlign.
AutoAlign. Is that us? I don't.
You don't even know. You got so much business coming. You
No,
don't even know the business
no,
you're
no. I
getting.
don't
Hey,
think
I
it's
want to
not.
be you.
You
Hey, how
mentioned
do I get
AutoAlign.
hired?
Okay, what?
I said I want to be you. You don't even
Oh,
you don't even realize how many customers you got coming on.
they doesn't recall. I'm not sure if it says. But
I haven't seen anybody come on our show, Alan, and so humbly, talk about his company in not such an amazing way, and them having so many customers come to him. So a pretty amazing session with you.
oh, thank you,
And
guys. Well,
love to see it. Love people from Portugal. Love the culture. Love the people. God bless you guys.
thank you. No, we love you too. It's despite of some tariffs we are having now, but
Oh, you didn't hear?
but
They ended today. They're going to
but
end now.
all good. No worries. It's
They're gonna. It's not my fault.
Yeah,
It's
I understand.
Alan's. It's Alan's fault.
Yeah,
He didn't want to get a haircut. So
yeah, it is what it is. So we need to deal with it.
Exactly.
And
well, and
Cool.
today there was some good news. So
Yeah.
just a little while ago, the Treasury Secretary came out and said this is not going to be sustainable in the market.
Yeah.
Okay.
Literally switched around 1,500 points in like the last 2 hours.
Oh wow!
Oh.
I've not seen
So
that.
there was a strong statement by the Treasury Secretary Bessent,
Yeah.
who's pretty bright guy, I think.
Okay.
And it seems like it's heading in the right direction. So I mean, like the market loved it. So
Gotcha.
Very
let's
good.
see. You can wake up tomorrow morning and again.
Everything changes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
But
it's
just
the
wrapping
better.
up on the question I was asking
Yeah, of
around
course.
channel. So you're still, so you're bringing these customers on. So as you mentioned, Go Contact,
Yeah.
that enables you, to get new clients, and you do the customization, the integration required to meet their specific needs. So you're still doing
Yeah.
the heavy lifting on the AI side, or your
Yeah.
platform integration, I should say, but has the benefit that, you can just use, because, well, you've got broad voice behind Go Contact, so you have
Yeah.
the whole of North America to take advantage of as well.
Yeah, actually, I mean, it is part of our, let's say, sneaky strategy with Go Contact. It's this, of course, Go Contact. It's part. I mean, I know João for a long time before he was acquired by Broadvoice, and of course, we always had this, let's say, good relationship in terms of business and mentoring even. But yeah, I mean, we already have some discussions with Broadvoice, but. I mean, our relations with Go Contact, it's still Portugal, Spain, and Latin America, where Go Contact, let's say, where the CEO of Go Contact, which is Rui, just manages everything. So on that level, we already are there. Another threads that we are doing, it's with George, which is one of the board members of Go Contact, which is the responsible for the operation. I mean, for the onboarding of clients and everything. So one of the things we are discussing with him is if it makes sense for us to just use our platform to just let's say replace the one that they had, because they do, for example, they have voice bots, virtual assistants, but they are before LLMs. They don't use LLMs for their own voice bots. Today it's impossible. In the market, it's all these voice bots are changing and going to
evolving
clients,
very rapidly.
companies like Visor. So they already know it, and once that they are not creating their own platform, we are just fighting to be that platform, so it is not something closed, hopefully George listened to me and we will close, but I don't know.
Understand.
Yeah.
Now, one of the aspects you mentioned is in one of your diagrams was around co-pilots and using them. I'm just interested in your experiences around the people training in using co-pilots.
Okay. Well, I mean, when you mention co-pilots, I mean, in my case, I just talk about more this kind of agent assist stuff, not that much as code co-pilots and others. So on that aspect, I don't have that much experience. But I mean, usually to give you our point of view, which is something that, for example, GoContact shares with me on that aspect, is the best way to enter into a client is by starting with an AI quality assurance project. So
Yes.
we start by, let's say, replacing the auditors that they have there listening to calls and just
all the
filling
people on
forms.
expense. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the first. So they get already a saving on that. We get better results than they have easily because it's not very hard to get. They experience AI for the first time because it's something where the risk is very calculated, because if it goes horribly well or wrong, nobody knows. So it's internal, So and it's a good way to start on every possible aspect. And another very important thing is we get all the calls from the clients, and we manage to create very good agent assists, voice bots, chatbots, because we have all the history, we have it all on our side. So that's the best approach. So that's what we try in terms of. So when we start with the agent assist on the first moment, it takes a ramp up period to have it very good, because we need to collect all this information and just do the same as if you were doing an AI quality assurance, but not charging for it, So it takes like, let's say, 2-3 months until I have a very good agent assist. So that's why I say AI quality assurance, we just do two things in once, and that's the best. Okay, but for example, GoContact, they have autonomy to release agent assists like automatically from their side. I mean, autonomously on their side without us. And what we are seeing now is that we are having a huge volume of clients using it, but with not that much value added for the agents, because the setups, the implementation, were not done in a serious way. It's like a bunch of documents just pushed there, and let's hope the AI will help. So it can help, but it's not. Yeah,
it needs to be built for purpose.
Yeah. So so that's how we see it. Okay.
Cool. And so for now, you are 100% SaaS, or do you also have some client that wants on-premise for like banking security reason or something like that?
Can you? Sorry, I didn't get the last part.
Sorry, you are only SaaS, or you are also on-premise for some banking or very.
Yeah, we are a SaaS, but not the traditional SaaS. We are not the pure SaaS, which is only do SaaS. Let's say, for example, for banks, I can tell you the name. So, for example, Millennium BCP is the biggest private bank in Portugal. SIBS is the main processor of payments in Portugal, for example. Generali, which is a very big insurance company in Europe, in Portugal as well. Those are clients where we have a virtual private cloud. So it's not a SaaS solution. It's a cloud infrastructure on AWS, but created specifically for that clients, where they define where they want the data, they define where they want the redundancies, they define the machines they want, and all the settings and everything. But and they can just go there and audit everything, and they can just do like pen tests and everything they want. So let's say, but it's our property, but their capacity to just go there and do everything they want. And we are not able to just update the solution they have there without them to just accept it, So it means that in some cases, clients prefer to have a more kind of, let's say, old school version, but it's stable and nothing changes, and we need to be there just pushing them to accept the new development, the new releases. Yeah, that's the word. Sorry, but that's why they move forward with us, because we have that situation. We already got clients. For example, we compete a lot. For example, with TalkDesk. TalkDesk competes with GoContact and competes with Visor. So they are a CCaaS, and they also have AI tools. We already won some clients. They are huge. They are a unicorn, decacorn, something like that. They are from Portugal. We know them well and all that stuff. But in the local market in Portugal, they are not very big, and that's the main reason, because they don't do that approach. They decided another path, which is great for them because it grows faster, and they go to US and they get into the US countries. But for Portugal, Europe approach, I would say it's not that tailored. So we prefer to go more in a, let's say, less maybe ambitious point of view, but more certain and more, let's say, with better results for the client as we see it.
Interesting.
And did you have to go through SOC 2 and other ISO or whatever?
Actually, yeah, we are ISO 27001 certificated. It's something that helps a lot with these clients. I mean, it's not mandatory to get into these clients, but the thing is, by not having it, the process we need to do in the beginning, it's huge. And we lost clients in the past. I mean, not clients, but leads in the past. We got opportunities because we didn't have it, and the procurement team thought that okay, by hiring Visor, I need to do a huge process in terms of due diligence. If I hire the other guys that have it, it will be 10% of the work for me. Okay, I'll move with the others, you know. So yeah, that's why we took it, and it helps a lot on that thing. And then there are other. I mean, there are other regulations. I mean, this is not a regulation; it's kind of a certification. But in Europe, we have now the AI Act that's coming out soon. We have the GDPR, which is for data protection, and in banks they have one thing which is called DORA. DORA, it's like for operations efficiency, and they have a lot of rules for providers. So we cover it all, and we already know how to do it quite well. So yeah, that's one of our main advantages is that we usually when we see clients with all that kind of bureaucracy, we see it as a good thing because we know we will take it, and most part of our competitors will not.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Understood. That's
Yeah.
good.
Interesting.
And
Now
we are
with-
part of. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, no, go for it.
Yeah, it's another curiosity once we are in this slide. Actually, it was created, it was based in Portugal, but it's already growing for other geographies. It's a consortium of some companies. I mean, big companies like, I don't know, supermarkets and all these big ones, I don't know, health groups and stuff like that, startups like us, and innovation centers from universities. So it's created this consortium of these three personas, where it's kind of a certification for responsibility in terms of AI. So they kind of give us, like, let's say, good practices and some rules that we should follow to make sure that our AI it's responsible, that we have guardrails, and we do everything in our power to mitigate hallucinations and data breaches and all that stuff. So it's not a, let's say, official certification, but it's already a consortium that was created for that, to give that stamp of approval for end clients, which is something interesting, and again, something very European thing to do. So very focused on, I mean, because usually clients, they all want AI until they understand that it can hallucinate sometimes. So all that things help to reduce the risk.
And then just back to GDPR and storing of customer data, especially when it's stored in voice, because you've got voice conversations that are being recorded. So just interested in, how do you tackle that? Do you just take everything speech to text and hope it's good enough? Or
well, different ways to do that. So, for example, when we have a virtual private clouds, usually we have, let's say, approval from the clients to have the data on our side, because they consider that it's part of their infrastructure, even though who pays the bill, it's Visor. So that's it. So Visor pays the bill, but it's part of their infrastructure. So this is usually one thing. Another thing is when they don't have a virtual private cloud, we have, let's say, more creative ways to do it. For example, I mean, we can give different examples. For example, for auditing phone calls, usually we take those calls after they happen. They happen. So let's say the call just finishes, and we get that call. We just perform the auditing, and we can have a routine to just erase this call on our side, like, right away. So we don't get that. I mean, we need to show evidence to the client that we erase everything. So we are taking the information out, but at the same time we are just erasing it, so we are not taking it on our side. Even though when we take it on our side, sometimes the clients, they made us to make sure that we have some anonymization layers, like everything that it's numbers, names, numbers, addresses, and everything. All of that, it's erased. So we have these different layers of approach that we can usually give the option to the client to decide, because of course they have different costs. So if you want only to have, let's say, only anonymization, it's in the standard pack and it is what it is, and no problem. If you want for us to have a routine to erase it, will be more costly. If you want to have a virtual private cloud, even more. So it's like a trade-off they need to choose. Usually they try to convince us to just do the implementations on premises, but so far we have been able to just always convince them that it's not the best, that we should do the VPC, and usually they accepted. I don't know if it will last forever, but so far it has worked.
Interesting. Yeah, because within TADSummit, we have a regular long-term member, Strollard, and they're leading the standardization of VCon, virtual
Okay.
conversations. So that's like a standard for recording conversations, and then all the tools around that in terms of redaction and basically, when you have an audit, you're able to definitively prove whether you have any
Yeah.
customer data stored in your records.
Yeah.
Cool.
Totally.
So,
Great.
I'll finish on one that I'm sure will get Johnny excited, which is now back in 2023, you raised 4 million euro.
Yes, it's true.
Are you looking for more rounds? What's your plan as a business?
Well, not. I mean, not in that. I mean, we started as a, let's say, kind of bootstrap company.
Yep.
So we raised some money in the beginning, but was like not that much. We started in Portugal in 2016, which was like, I mean, there was no VC world. There was no, I mean, barely was business angels in Portugal. So it was not
Yes.
easy to get money at the time. Today, it's the opposite. It's easier to get money in Portugal than in the US. But that's a topic that we can discuss later.
Yeah.
So the market, it's
Well,
full
it's
of
easy for
money.
you to get money now because you probably don't need it. So everybody wants to
No,
give you
no, no,
money
no,
when
no,
you
not
don't
the
need it.
case. Not the case. No, it's not the case. It's the fact is that the Portuguese government created kind of an incentive for companies that have profits. In spite of paying the tax to the government, they can use that money to buy participation in some VC funds. And
Oh,
by
wow.
doing so, they reduce their taxed amount by about, I think he said 80%.
Wow.
So meaning that there's no risk. They just put the money on that VCs, they pay 20% of the tax that they were supposed to pay, and then the VCs got full of money that they have to deploy only in Portuguese companies and only the ones that have this certification, which is one specific
Gotcha.
thing. There's about 200 companies in Portugal with this. Means that they are maybe about, let's say, maybe 1 billion euros to invest in about 200 companies. So there's money for
Wow.
that. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Carell, you need to move between. You need to move to Portugal.
Yeah,
So,
but I just give you the not that good part. One is you need to spend all that money over 5 years in R&D. So you need to have
Mhm.
you need to have, let's say, a pipeline of
Yes.
developments to do to show that you spend that amount of money at least.
Yeah.
That's one, but in 5 years it's easy to have, let's say. And another not that good part is you need to be a company incorporated in Portugal for more. I think it's 1 year to even apply for that certification, and it take maybe one more to give it to you. So it's not something that
are
will
you
change.
allowed to? Are you allowed to acquire companies with that
Yeah,
outside of
yeah.
Portugal? Oh, so
That's what
great.
happened now. There's a
That's
lot
great.
of company. I know companies. Actually, the other day there was a M&A company that approached me mentioning that if we were wanting to sell the company for that, and I said, okay, right now I'm not interested to sell for that because if I will sell the company, it will be for way more than that, But I know a
No,
company.
are you able to acquire companies?
Yeah.
So are you able
Yeah,
to take that funding so your
Yeah.
company is allowed to acquire companies? Huh?
Yeah, you can come. Or I mean, I give an example. I know one company which has this certification, and you can buy them for $500,000, and you have access to all that funding. So that's one example. Maybe you have companies that you can buy for 100K. I don't know. So
You should talk to Carell. He's got some major customers. He's on the
okay.
phone. He's on a call here. He's got
Cool.
Cisco and Procter and Gamble
Okay.
as customers. You should talk to him offline.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Great. And
He's
another
got some
thing
great
is
stuff.
for foreign people. Actually, this was something we were discussing before in the call. For foreign people that come to Portugal, there's a lot of incentives in terms of personal taxes. So if you come to do business and then you acquire a company here to have that funding from VCs, it's a great combination, I believe.
Gotcha.
And another thing here is that people speak English, and the developers are good price quality ratio.
Yes.
So
Oh, yeah,
they're not still as
absolutely.
expensive as German developers,
Yes. Yeah.
and they are quite good. They are the same level of capacity, I would say.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've worked with the IST many times.
Oh, yeah.
at
Yeah.
Hacks, so
That's
we
a
know
good
the
reference
quality.
here. Yeah. Of course.
Very good
Yeah.
university.
They are the best here. Yeah. Totally. Great.
So, Karel, Johnny, anything else you'd like to ask Gonzalo?
No, look, I'm highly impressed. I think you should have a
Yeah.
conversation with Carell around his business.
Oh, cool. Well,
And
Karel,
I could
here
sit
to
here all
you.
day and
So,
ask him questions, but
of
yeah,
course.
you kind of floored us. I mean, humbly coming
Okay.
in here talking about how his company is growing, free money in Portugal. I don't know. I want to be you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Sometimes I don't want to be me, so thank you for that.
I want to be you. God bless
No,
you.
Well,
that's
thank you,
great.
guys.
I mean, you've done something impressive, and I think it's next step for you is going to go outside of Portugal and conquer,
Yeah, that's
Europe
what.
and
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what takes us more. It's getting more difficult for us right now because in Portugal, as we already have a name in the market, things got easier. But if I go to Spain, which is like nearby, nobody knows me. I mean, they all know they know
Yeah.
something, but it's not the same. So
Exactly.
that's a
yeah. But I mean,
challenge we have.
I mean, you have some good names, like generally is known outside
Oh, yeah.
of all
Yeah.
over Europe, so
Yeah.
it can
Yeah, that
helps
certainly
opening
helps.
doors, I see.
Yeah, that certainly helps. Yeah, of course. Well,
Cool. No,
guys,
this is
thank
a
you.
great session. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Gonzalo.
guys. Thank you
Thank you,
very much.
everybody.
And
Take
Have a
care.
great
here for
day.
you, Karel. If you
What
want to
a
discuss
pleasure.
that things, let me know.